Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I come to you today in pinstripes and style, because I'm a stylish kind of individual. And also to answer questions and to do the stuff that I do when I record myself answering questions that you ask me. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up was this Patreon thing, as I've actually finally signed up with Patreon. I've gotten recommendations from maybe a couple fans or maybe one fan, but it appears to be a good idea, and so I've signed up for it. And what it is essentially is that you guys get to be my boss. I've got a pitch on it if you guys want to look into that. It pops up at the end of the videos, but the point is that I get paid like a certain amount that you guys determine at the end every time I post a video. But the question I keep getting is, how do we know which videos you get paid for? Like, some people want to say, I want to support the Let's Plays, but I don't really want to support Monday Music. Or they say, I want to support this, I don't want to support that. And so I'm going to start claiming videos through Patreon starting this Monday. So in the comment section today, let me know if you guys have any objections to this, or if you feel anything separately that you don't agree. But I will claim through Patreon. I will claim Let's Plays. I will claim anything like Rainbow Dash Presents or stuff like that we do. Not that parody, like that parody that I took where I took another group's animation and I redubbed over it. That was I won't claim that sort of thing, because that was too much. That was basically like their work that I was teasing about it, which is why I sent them a note. I let them know. I was like, I did it, and I was like, do you want me to take it down? And they're like, no, it's funny. And I was like, okay, it's good, because I put it up. So I probably should have asked before I sent it, but I was I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna put it up. So yes. So anyway, though. So like Rainbow Dash Presents, or other parodies that we do, other animated parodies. Anything like that we'll claim through Patreon. The personal time episodes I'll claim on Patreon. And Alan Hour I'll claim on Patreon. And that's because those also the Minecraft videos. And that's because those I'll get about, like, by the end of a week, they get like between 3,000 and 4,000 hits every week. Which tells me that none of those are as popular as, Rainbow Dash Presents, obviously. But as far as things go that we do that gets watched, those are the things that people seem to still watch for. The Monday Music I won't claim, because that one gets about 1,000 people. And in any case, though, some of those are paid for by people who are interested in that sort of thing anyway. And I've got a couple that are come up soon. Annie Erskine, from our coordinator from Apple Acres Con, actually hired us for the upcoming one, so I've got to get something put together for her. But in any case, though, those are paid sometimes anyway, so I won't claim those, but I'll claim the other things. And if anyone has any objections to that, then let me know. I hope that'll be okay. I will also claim occasionally. I'm going to try and do like reviews, and then also like other little things, like, so occasionally I'll post a Sunday video or something, and it'll be a little extra. I'll claim those as well, although I'm a little bit on the fence on those, because I won't know how well they perform until I put them out and I see, like, do I get a consistent audience. So to start, okay, actually no, I tell you what, I'll wait with those, and if they do well and if they seem to get a good response, then I'll claim them on Patreon. And so yeah, so those are the things you guys can expect, I guess, about however many, 2 Let's Plays, Minecraft, Alan Hour, and things. So about 5 videos every week is what you guys will be paying for if you want to be a patron for me on Patreon. And so you guys can adjust accordingly, and then that way you make sure that you pay exactly as much as you want to pay, and that'll work. So yes, next question I had, if I can recall, I did have some people ask me, like, what did I think about the Social Justice Warrior, the Down with Molestia thing, and I believe that's blown over by now. But I will tell you that I did see some stuff about that. I wasn't terribly interested in it because it seemed very silly. The person who started it, though, who was leading it, was I think she was just like a high school girl or something like that. I don't know. She just had a lot of like selfie pictures on her Tumblr and stuff like that. I don't think that there was no way that was going to turn into anything like too phenomenally large. So yeah, I think it's over now. It's too late. I kind of doubt that anyone really cares what I think at this point about that. But what else did I get? Somebody asked me about witchcraft. Oh yeah. They asked me, what do I think is of all the interviews that I've done, who is my favorite group to interview with, and why is that? And actually, I like Celestial Radio has been my favorite so far. And the reason being because those guys have asked me to come back a couple times, and so I think I've done like at least 2 interviews with them. And I also know Shamrock. He lives in my area. Actually, I went and had sushi with the guy. And so I just kind of know them, and they sort of, the impression that I get is that they're pretty just easygoing about the whole thing. And so I show up and I'm like, let's talk about this. And then we just kind of ramble on for the next 2 hours. So I kind of enjoy them. The other interviews have been fun as well, but they're a little bit more business-like, where Celestial Radio is just kind of fun. Like I just sort of show up and I don't really need a plan, or I don't have to have any particular hook. I have been invited to do a second show. I can't remember who with. I've still got their Skype name, but the fact was they just asked me. They're like, when is Rainbow Dash coming out? And I was like, well, we're planning around now, or around this time. And he goes, oh, okay, well, call me, then. And I was like, oh, well, okay. So Celestial Radio just kind of like has gotten a hold of me a couple times, and they're just like, do you want to come on? And then I just come on. And so this is sort of fun. I enjoy Celestial Radio very much. And so hello, Shamrock, because he's also a viewer, and he keeps up with our Tumblr and everything. So hello, Shamrock. So Celestial Radio is a lot of fun. And another thing someone asked me was, they asked me about Friendship is Witchcraft. They said, what do I think of episode 9? And I have to confess, I got through basically none of it. And I don't know what it is. When I first started off and I was thinking about them as a major competitor, I used to watch all the way through, and I would try and look for like the jokes, and I got, there's stuff like, oh, haha, they're very punny and everything like that. And it's gotten to where, though, I've just sort of like, I no longer have the energy to, like, I just don't really, I'm not really like into their humor so much, and like it just doesn't resonate with me. So I don't know. I turned this one on. I turned episode 9 on, and I watched it for a little while. And the last episode 8, I was already doing stuff where I had other browser tabs up, and I was like getting distracted. I would start reading and then forget that I was watching an episode of Friendship is Witchcraft, and I had to keep going back. And so episode 9, I started to do that, and I tabbed out. And then I said, oh, here I go, I'm doing this again. So I just closed it down. So I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's really not like a thing anymore. I don't worry about it. Because it's almost kind of depressing. Really, when you think of them as a competitor, like someone else who does kind of the same thing that I do, they're still kind of holding out hope on their Abridged series. Believe it or not, I have made some more progress. I got another minute edited for the Mentally Advanced series, but it's just such a, whenever I work on it, it's just such a weight, around my heart. It's like one of those, as far as I understand copyright law, I'm pretty sure you could make a good case for it, because there's a lot of implicit critique in the parody like that. I think it's illegal. But there's not any precedence for it, really, because it's not like, it's a new kind of thing. It's only recently just gotten to be something that people do. And so there's no legal precedent that says that this is the thing that won't get you sued, that won't get your video hosting site sued, or won't do this, or won't do that. And so even though Hasbro, people still remember Fighting is Magic, but Hasbro has been really lax with the IP thing. They haven't really come after people very much. They let people do the comics. They haven't really chased anyone who's doing the plush stuff or anything like that. They got after Fighting is Magic, because Fighting is Magic, they wound up getting into EVO. As far as I understand, they didn't mean to get into EVO, but somehow they got entered into EVO, and it was a giant platform. And at that point, like, if Hasbro didn't step in, then they were liable to get into legal stuff, and so that was just sort of a mess. But point being that Hasbro has been pretty relaxed about the IP stuff. They're on Content ID now, and but for a very long time, they also weren't doing any copyright strikes or anything like that. And I do not like copyright ID. I don't like the Content ID at all. But even with that, with as attack-oriented as the Content ID system is designed to be, Hasbro hasn't even been like too ridiculously attack-oriented with that either. In fact, some people were telling me, they're like, oh, hey Greg, we found out that we could crop the Mentally Advanced series so that it slips right under the Content ID if you want to post that. And it's one of those things, like, I just don't want to touch it. Because here's what'll happen. If I start posting the Mentally Advanced series again, and then YouTube gives me a copyright strike because they update the content ID to better hunt for that sort of editing, I will be banned from all Google stuff. Like they have my social security number, you know, my personal information for the billing stuff, for my monetization. They'll take me down everywhere. Like they'll look into everything that's connected to me. They'll destroy all of it. They'll smash everything. So it's one of those I just can't. I can't be putting it back on the site, or not back on. I can't be putting it back on YouTube. I can't put it somewhere where Google's gonna actively like go and hunt me down. Like where I've got it now hosted is Google Drive, and in that case, like it's kind of like it's not really their profit thing. Like it's not profitable for me to keep it there, and it's not really profitable for Google to keep it there, and so no one's like in legal danger for using that there except for maybe me. But that's only if someone were to decide that what I'm doing is not sufficiently transformative. So, long story short, it's almost watching Friendship is Witchcraft. It's not just that I find them boring. It's almost just kind of disheartening. It's like watching the Mentally Advanced series, which I still I'm gonna try and get an episode out soon for you guys. But I just gotta tell you, it's like watching a child that just didn't make it, or something like that. It's one of those a creative venture that was a lot of fun that I really enjoyed for a while, and it is a lot of work. And it just gets chased and destroyed and deleted and everything else. And what can I say? I wish that weren't the case. But Friendship is Witchcraft is no longer welcome on Vimeo. They're gone. And that was something that I saw coming, actually, because when I thought about Vimeo, I went to Vimeo and I told them, I said, can you tell me anything about your copyright stuff? Like, what do you guys do in terms of DMCA claims? How do you respond to this stuff? Like if I am doing a transformative parody, how are you guys going to respond? And they were perfectly upfront with me about it. They said, Greg, I'm sorry, but you know, like we don't really know a lot about the detailed nature of copyright law. They said if it looks like an infringement, we'll probably delete it. So I kind of knew that sooner or later Friendship is Witchcraft was going to be gone from Vimeo. I don't know, they're back on YouTube. I don't know how long they're going to stay. Eventually they might have to switch over to Google Drive like I've done as well, but if they do that, they're going to have to do the same thing that I've done, where they reduce the quality of all the videos so that they can fit on Google Drive, and at that point, you know, they can still be HD, but they'll be like, it depends on what software they're using to render everything. So yes, so anymore though. So yeah, so I see Friendship is Witchcraft anymore, and all it makes me think about is just the politics of copyright and YouTube and all the crazy stuff that goes on with that. So, I don't know. In a way, I kind of wish them luck, because I hope that maybe this will be the end of it. Maybe they won't get hit by any more Content ID shenanigans, but honestly, I kind of doubt it. I think it's just a matter of time before they're hit once again. And how can I say? It's sad, but that's just how things appear to be with the abridging world at the moment. Some guys are lucky, some guys like Little Karibo. Little Karibo got massive before they started coming after him. He was already one of the top YouTube channels before anyone got on his case. I believe that Team 4-Star, I think that Dragon Ball Z has, there's something I've read where they've got consent from someone or something, or they've done something. Like, I don't think that they're legally licensed, but they're condoned officially or something like that. So it's like they don't have immunity to lawsuit, but officially, like off the record, no one plans to do anything to them. So they've been safe. It's just one of those things. It's like even with the Mentally Advanced series, it was just like bad luck. Hasbro decided to upload to the Content ID, and then there was really, like, once you get on Content ID, there's no longer a dispute. It no longer comes down to law. It no longer comes down to anything else. It's on Content ID. You're screwed. So I was lucky. Again, I was very lucky that when Hasbro uploaded to Content ID, that they didn't immediately make it a copyright strike, or otherwise I would have nothing. At this point, we would not have a FimFlam Philosophy channel. We would not be capable of making revenue with YouTube, and it wouldn't be because we were necessarily doing anything wrong. It would just be because that's the way that the system is. So, yes, those are my thoughts. Rather sad today. Sad. But I do have some updates though. Alan is feeling pretty good about some things. His mom recently got, or his family, but he's got family ties in other places, and he's looking into new work, and he might become a bouncer, which will be pretty cool. Then he'll be like Mr. T, and other things like that. So, things are down, things are up, we never know. It's an unstable life being in the creative business of just doing whatever the heck we feel like for a living, kinda. So, yes, I am, like I say, I'm thinking about maybe even doing live streams just to show you guys, because PetterUp does live streams now as he's making Rainbow Dash Presents, and I might do live streams showing you guys like I am doing Mentally Advanced series very slowly, but things are happening a little bit more frequently now, just because it's one of those things I sat down and I was like, I haven't been at it often enough, and again, it's because it's a little bit, it's demotivating sometimes, but recently I've been feeling a little bit more motivated for it, and who knows, what can I say, it's tough. It's tough, but I know a lot of people like it, and I like it myself. So, who knows. But anyway, though, I suppose that's it for the day, so I will catch you guys later.